A little bit of context. This speech was given by Anne Widdecombe October 2012, a few months before the Parliament was passing the marriage equality laws in the UK. Very sad to see the former, I think it's Archbishop of Canterbury, not Rowan Williams. What's the other one? I can't remember. Anyway, God, what his name is. Is sitting on this panel with these people who, again, they still exist. They still are campaigning against, equal rights. You look at the things in Scotland, that there are certain things like Christian Concern who are, putting pressure on people to not have these qualities for those people who believe they're trans, and it's just incredible that this sort of organisation exists still and tries to pressurise the government into making the most ridiculous policy changes just because they believe that, two people, two men, two women can't get married and love each other. It's the most bizarre thing, and if they'd spent more time focusing in on the real problems in the UK, especially at the moment, things like the cost of living crisis, low wage strikes, and all sorts of things like that, instead of this garbage going on about how, we don't like gays and we don't like lesbians, that sort of thing. It's just appalling. Anyway, this is the fantastically wonderful, charismatic and very smiley Anne Widdecombe.
As some of the opposition to redefining marriage is actually coming from homosexuals themselves.
Two examples. Two people who have said that they don't agree with marriage being equal. So two women can marry, two men can marry. Two people.
For example, Andrew Pearce, a gay columnist for the Daily Mail, has written persuasively of his opposition to the change, while Christopher Biggins has said that, of course, a marriage is between a man and a woman. Are these, and the many gays that share those views, bigots?
Well, the argument is that they don't agree with it. It doesn't mean to say that they are having anything to do with the legislation. They are expressing their opinions. If their opinion you think is wrong, then it's wrong. Doesn't make them bigots. If they said bigoted things, then fair enough. Very weak argument.
Are they homophobic?
No, but from the applause and from the laughter, a lot of people in that auditorium obviously are. I think it's hilarious that they can find two gay people, and I think Christopher Biggins actually said he was bi. I can't remember. I think anyway. That they think that somehow that they speak for the entire gay community. That's like, Anne Widdecombe speaking for the entire Catholic community.
Simply articulating a recognition that redefining marriage is wrong.
I'm an expert on marriage equality, but I'm assuming that now that two men, two women can marry, that things like spousal pensions if somebody dies and that sort of thing, I'm sure there's lots of other things that they wouldn't have been able to get in a civil partnership. But what is so frightening about two people of the same gender getting married? I don't know what it is.
As has been pointed out many times, redefining marriage will not give gays a single right which they do not already have in civil partnerships. But it will take away the right of a wife to call herself that in law, and the right of a husband legally to describe himself as such.
And I find extremely odd that the idea that a husband and wife, those words, those names will be taken away. 10 years since this speech was given, just over 10 years. I wonder how many straight couples have thought, we better not call each other husband and wife. Not one. Not one. So this argument that she tried to portray that somehow it'll be dissolve these sort of marriages between a husband and wife and they'll not be able to call each other those names again is absolute bollocks.
Stonewall has suggested that instead of using husband and wife, we should instead replace them in the Matrimonial Causes Act with the soulless term parties to a marriage.
And again, Stonewall is an advocacy group that obviously advises government policy. I'm sure it does. But not one time have I ever heard of them saying party to another party. And there's no argument. I mean, again, I say in the last 10 years since this speech was given, has it really changed anything? No. And it was scaremongering, it was nastiness, it was everything I despise about this woman.